Looking at derivatives of our nucleoside, which means we're going to change that structure a bit. The first derivative that we're looking at is a nucleotide. The nucleotide is the base monomer structure for our DNA and RNA. What we need in order to build a nucleotide is we need a phosphate group. This phosphate group comes in the form of phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid is H3PO4. We typically will lose those hydrogens in that acid because it dissociates when we're talking about inorganic phosphates. We also need our nucleoside. As done previously, we want to break this structure down so we know the name we are working with. Starting with our nitrogenous base, I see that it's a double ring. So that's a purine. Big structure, little name. Under purines, I have adenine and guanine. I have that nitrogen at the apex of the structure, so that is going to make my A. Therefore, I know I'm working with the adenine nitrogenous base. Looking at our sugar. Going to carbon 2 is without that oxygen, and that is where we get the name deoxyadenosine. We are going to combine that phosphate group onto the nucleoside. This occurs with the reaction between a hydroxyl group from phosphoric acid and the hydroxyl group on the 5' carbon. Remember, we use the term prime when we're talking about the carbons in the sugar. When this happens, it's going to form that bond on that 5' carbon. This is like forming an ester, and we call this a phosphor-ester linkage or bond. The phosphorus replaced that carbon where that carbonyl would have been, and then we have that single bonded oxygen to an R group, and that is where we get that phosphoester language from. Now we have our phosphate group that is on the 5' carbon of our deoxyadenosine structure. We have our deoxyribose, and we have our nitrogenous base. Now, once again, we have to name the structure differently than the nucleoside. The nucleoside's name was deoxyadenosine, but now we added a phosphate group. It's the addition of the phosphate group that we start to see the derivatives names come from. How these are named is you take the nucleoside name, then you tell us the placement and how many of the phosphate groups there are. This structure is going to be deoxyadenosine 5' monophosphate because there's one phosphate group on the 5' carbon of a deoxyadenosine. So many words, which is why we shorthand these names. We put a D in front of the shortened AMP. AMP is representative of the adenosine monophosphate. And that D tells us it's a deoxyribose, so a DNA-based nucleoside. If that D was not there and it was just AMP, it would be a ribose or an RNA-based nucleotide. So that is how we can tell the differences between these base monomers. Looking at other derivatives of these nucleosides. Here, in each of these structures, we are still working with that adenine nitrogenous base. Our sugar, looking at carbon 2, are now ribose sugars. Therefore, these are both adenosine structures. We do not need to add the deoxy in front of it because they are not without oxygen. They have their oxygen. What is different now is that we have 1, 2 phosphates on this first adenosine molecule. As we saw before, we always name the nucleoside, then add the prime carbon, followed by how many phosphates. So in this first one, we have the ADP. A is for that adenosine. 5. The D is for di. And then the P is for phosphate. So ADP, there are 2 phosphate groups coming off of the 5' carbon. And then likewise, ATP, adenosine 5' triphosphate, has 3 phosphate groups coming off of the 5' carbon. When we do speak, we tend to drop that 5' off of the formal name of ATP and ADP because we have this base understanding of where these phosphate groups are at. But in technical terms, we need to state where this phosphate group is being bonded from.